totally right about the sex positions one. That one's getting a ton of views already.
I told you.
Because some of them, it's like 20 something. Like it's like a slow start, and this one we're already like almost at 100. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to listen to that one.
People like the sex position stuff, man.
So,
it's
Imani,
interesting.
I got a DM from this black dude on Instagram.
Are you serious?
He's hit me up before, like, please tell me I can at least take you shoe shopping. Like, so this is the third time. I haven't responded to this. He's like, I know I've tried. Let me try again. You know how a lot of pretty women have that one male friend that they friend zoned, you know, but he secretly likes her and he'll take her shopping, pay her bills, chauffeur her around.
Oh,
like
my goodness.
All her friends know he's her bitch boy. You know that guy? Well, that really turns me on and I would love to be that for you. Just give me a chance.
Are you serious?
Like, no,
baby.
That
is hilarious. Yeah, you're not really into like brothers like that. That's more Kim, right?
No, yeah, Kim loves brothers. I dated a halfer last year. He had like the blue eyes.
Ooh. Right, but you're not into like brothers. Yeah, you're not into like brothers.
I dated a Cape Verdean guy when I was 20. Like he looks more like Latino black.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, last year's was half. But no, not.
You're not really into it like that.
I like white boys.
I got it. Nothing wrong with that.
I don't even like foreigners. Like, so Jess had these. Jess plays polo, and when we were in Palm Springs, she had these Argentinian guys that she plays polo with. Like, good looking guys, but I'm just like, I'm not into it.
Yeah.
Like, hello, ladies. I'm like, nah.
Everybody we all have what we like, right?
Right.
We all have what we like. It's well. Let me just officially start the show for those who are joining us for the first time, and let me turn my phone off while I'm at it. You know what I mean? But I am going to put a lot of that before what I'm about to say right now. I'm going to put a lot of that pre-stuff in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you know what? I feel like we might have got more views because of that, because I think people like to just like hear people getting into it.
Yeah, I like to get into it real quick.
Yeah.
So today I'll make it short and sweet.
Yeah, short intros.
You're joining us for the first time. It is Relationships, Romance, and Propaganda podcast with Rachel K. Burke, the beautiful, like I always say, and Liz.
Liz is our special guest.
We have a special guest today, Liz. They are in AZ, and I do this every week. I promote Rachel's books.
I love it. That's my spokesperson.
Love bites and sound bites. You know what I mean? Check these out while you're in quarantine. It's almost over. Even after the quarantine is over, you could still check these out. Like I said.
Yeah, and where is this winery you were at? Are they open now?
We'll talk about that in a second. You know what I'm saying? So follow us on at
us thirsty bitches were like, he's at a winery. Where?
It is a winery, yeah. Anyway, follow us on YouTube, guys. ICT Group Digital. And wherever you get your podcast, keep listening. We love you. Thank you. RPTalkTruth@gmail is the Gmail. And that's all I'm going to say. Everyone already knows that we're the sexiest, hottest relationship podcast in the world. Everybody already knows that. You know what I mean? I had a fan.
Imani has confidence issues.
Yeah. Listen, I just had a fan hit me up from Israel. You know, people listen all the way out there. You know what I mean? So
yeah, remember Mary, our friend in like Brazil or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And then she started sending me like weird sexual stories that she had gone through, and I was like, oh,
right.
I don't know if
you know what it is, Liz? They all just like need a pen pal. You know, and we talk about relationships a lot.
Or advice. I think Mary just needed advice. Yeah.
Just need a little advice. And Rachel is pretty open about how she talks and what she says, which I think is very empowering for women. You know what I mean?
So
she's super open. Even the girl I'm seeing now is like, yeah, I love how open Rachel is. I mean, she listens to our show all the time. While she's at work, she's listening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I talked to an energy healer on the phone once, and she was like, you speak your truth, and it's your power. And I was like, thanks. Appreciate that.
Exactly.
Jessica?
So yeah, to answer your question, we went to Maurice Carey, you know, which was cool. So the way they had it was you could grab a bottle and just social distance outside at a table. You know what I mean? And just do the bottle, which is about 2 glasses each. Yeah, and I think this weekend is when they're officially open. This weekend.
Okay. Yeah, I went to a restaurant for the first time yesterday. This is why I'm in Arizona.
Oh, you did?
I went shopping without a mask on. Nobody judged me listening. And I went to, when Kelsey and I went out to lunch, we in Scottsdale and sat outside, and I was like, oh my God, I'm at a restaurant.
That's cool. Yeah. Monday, Old Town was open. 1909 was open. Pub and Grub.
Oh,
There was a line at 1909. Yeah, the line was out the door at 1909. We couldn't even get in. We had to just go somewhere else and get some sushi somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was, so stuff is opening back up. But I know this weekend, I think all the wineries will be open.
Isn't LA County going to be the last one, though, I think?
Yep. Listen, in LA County, it's a law to even wear the mask outside. They'll give you $1,000 ticket.
Not doing that.
Yeah. Here, it's open. Here, the stores are like, you don't have to. We have to, but you're fine. No one even cares here anymore.
Okay. So I'm going to start hanging out.
Here's just optional.
Riverside
Riverside County.
County.
Here's
That's
just
kind of how it is in AZ too.
Yeah. See, here's just optional.
I went everywhere, and there was only one store that asked me to wear one. I was like,
yeah. See.
Yeah.
There it is. So what are we talking about today, ladies?
Talking about women making the first move.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Let me write that down.
Is it okay? Is it not okay?
That's right.
Yeah, we have pretty similar opinions, but you're probably gonna.
Yeah, I'm curious what
not
your
have
opinion.
the same one.
Okay, that's fine. Let's get into it.
I don't know. You're pretty open though. I think he kind of always sees both sides.
of things.
Yeah, so Liz has been reading dating books since we were kids.
Are you serious? Yeah, give it the background. How do you two know each other?
So,
how do we know each other?
I know, since we were kids.
Since we were kids. She was 5 years old, swinging on the swing, and we popped every time over the fence. Hi.
I don't remember this.
She doesn't remember this.
But
then we became really good friends in
That's so cool.
Yeah. So my grandma, we lived with my grandmother most of my life growing up, and her parents live a street over, and it's this little cul-de-sac neighborhood. So she was the cool one in the neighborhood.
Yeah, and then in sixth grade we started hanging out more, and
she got me into rock music.
That's a long friendship.
Yeah.
Okay.
But since we were in high school, she was the old lady, reading the dating books.
I was the old lady before I was the old lady.
Yeah.
So
Liz, are you married or taken, or what's your story?
So I've been married 7 years in June.
Okay.
And we have been together, I think, for 9 years, but we were off and on for 13 years.
Gotcha.
Are you having the 7-year itch right now since it's the 7th year?
Yeah, it's a tough year.
Because he and I talked about that on one episode.
Yeah, I heard that episode. It's legit, but I feel as long as we keep our communication open, we're good. We talk about it, we joke about it. But we also have young kids, and I feel that takes up.
Gotcha. That was my next question of what if you have any kids, what are the ages and stuff?
We have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, so we're in
fun.
And they've been quarantined, so they're both working from home with 2 kids, and it's
it's been a good time. So now I know we will survive. After this whole quarantine thing. The strengths of our relationship kind of shone through. Right. But going back to what Rachel said about being the old lady mama of the group, when I was 16, I was 15 or 16, I was actually babysitting for Rachel's mom. And Rachel, your mom had that book, The Rules.
She never listened to it. No, what? My mother's the epitome of chasing men and manipulating them to date her.
So she had this book, and I was babysitting, and I'm like, what is this? And I read it, and I was like, oh, this makes complete sense. I was like, this is great. It was a strategy all written out. Very old school, even old-fashioned at that time. Now it's super old-fashioned.
That's really old-fashioned.
Right.
So wait, what was it that you told me? Because Imani, I mentioned this to you a couple weeks ago about remember they said you could only call a guy once for every 5 times he called you or something?
Yeah, some ratio. I think it was, I want to say 4. I forget, but I went by that book all of high school, which at that tender age, I think the benefits for me were great because I think I came out confident and more balanced. I never lost sight of friendships or my interests based on whoever I was interested in or dating. But at the same time, I think to do that, be that strict with the book to a male a teenager, that was kind of rough because they're emotionally vulnerable at that point.
We all are.
Yeah, and they're not understanding it. So I think being that young, it was a little drastic, but I do think that it helped me be more balanced in my relationships. Like, it gave me confidence because I never really doubted if the guy that I was interested in was interested in me. But some of the rules were like, you don't talk to them first. You don't take a date. When they ask you on a date, you don't take a date for Saturday after Wednesday, which was actually kind of cool because then I could be more reliable to my friends, like if I was hanging out with my friends.
Yeah.
But honestly, I've been out of the dating game for what, like 10 years?
Time,
so
for Saturday really after Wednesday, you'd have to make it by Tuesday for Saturday.
Like he's got to book you in advance.
Like Wednesday would be like last minute.
Interesting. So, wow.
But I think it really put, somebody you really want to invest your time in, because if a man couldn't like step up and kind of take the lead, or if he wasn't taking the lead, it kind of, I always felt for me, I would become insecure or needy or wasting time with my friends being like, oh, is this guy into me? Like, all that type of back and forth, questioning like all your communications with them. I was always kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like, because they were pursuing me, I always drew like confidence and strength and empowerment from that, even though sometimes I had to be a little bit more reserved at the beginning, which was really frustrating for me. Like holding back.
Well, I think at that age too, it's good because like I was always the one that would just like sleep with all these guys because I liked them, and then they never were my boyfriend, and I was like, oh, what am I doing wrong? But I was just like horny and I wanted to sleep with them, but then they'd never end up being my boyfriend. And it's like if I actually just waited, like made myself valuable, but it's just like I was so hormonal at that age.
It's hard.
I just like did what I wanted to do.
Right, it didn't matter.
Yeah. Liz was like the old one, like very strategic. Like, he asked me out on Thursday. Nope, he has to wait till next week.
But it's funny because I look back now and I admire like you and some of our other friends who didn't care. Like you were just like, oh, I'm horny, I'm gonna sleep with this guy, and I was never as open like that.
But you always had quality guys and you always had boyfriends. Like she always had serious relationships where I was always heartbroken because like I slept with a dude and then he disappeared. You know what I mean? So I think you were probably in a healthier mental state.
So Liz, would you say, and are you saying that running across that book and other books kind of shaped how you would,
absolutely.
How you would
associate. And then in my 20s, I think Rachel introduced me to the book Why Men Love Bitches, and that was great because that like toned me down from a lot of the old fashioned principles,
it's like the 2.0 version.
And I felt like it was better rounded. But then it was also, like, would I be interested in this guy as like a long-term mate or just like a hookup? Because if it's a hookup, then I wouldn't necessarily follow the rules. Like I didn't care as much.
Right. Which makes sense. Yeah,
but I did, let them take the lead. But I also think that men will only really pursue if they're interested and ready, and I think that's the key point, because and that could come into timing too, like dating people at certain, like they might not be ready when you first meet them,
right?
They're not pursuing you, but then down the road, if they're in a different headspace or you're in a different part of your life, and then you connect. Then
her husband broke up with her when they first started dating, like months into it.
Yeah, we broke up like 5 times.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like she was like super heartbroken and everything, and then she said that today she's like, he just wasn't ready. He
just wasn't ready at that time. Yeah.
He wasn't ready, but there was also things that like. He was like, I am not going to be your prince and you are not going to be my princess. And we are going to split everything 50-50, our finances, the chores, if we have kids. And you know what? I thought, okay, sure, whatever. Like, I thought he was crazy. But at this point in my life, I noticed that some of my friends who are moms, like their husbands don't do as much as my husband does. Like, because they're sitting there doing like everything.
Or sometimes the husbands do everything.
Or the husbands do. Yeah, that's true too.
Because I see that a lot. It's like the husbands do everything.
Yeah, we try to, hold our own weight and hold our own. And I think there's confidence that comes out of that and respect that comes out of that. But,
of course, yeah.
Yeah, but I was thinking last night when I was reflecting, I was like, oh, the rules, like we're kind of reversed right now. Like I used to be super like, let him take the lead. Now I am like,
right.
Now I'm like, totally
alpha female.
The alpha female, like but I have tried to like come back a little bit in the past couple months, like, okay, just let him take the lead. And I think he's lost some confidence over the years because I was taking the lead, and that was exhausting. you know?
But
It
men,
was
but
exhausting.
I do think men, they want to hunt and they want to feel needed.
Right.
And that's what's going on with like my guy and I right now. So he called me his girlfriend this week, so I guess I'm his girlfriend. Imani.
Right, there you go.
We still haven't had this talk, but he just keeps being like, "Yeah, I told this guy I have like a super hot girlfriend," and I was like,
there you go.
well, he's talking about me.
Right.
But that's the same thing too. Is like I didn't pursue him, but I do let him lead, and he likes to feel needed. It like makes him feel good. So he's like staying at my house right now. He's fixing my fridge. He's doing everything, and it's like he likes it. He likes to feel needed. But I'm an alpha female, and I hate asking for help. Like I want to do everything myself. So it's like I have to let him do this and ask him for help. I'm like, can you take in this package for me? And he's like, of course.
Yeah, you know? Exactly.
But I hate doing that. But I know
you gotta kind of know how to, you know.
Yeah, because I think it makes you feel manly, right?
Absolutely.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, you know, we want to do things for you and take care of you and stuff like that.
Like, how
even
would
in
you
the
feel
smallest ways.
Like, how would you feel if like you knew how to fix the sink and the girl's like, I got it, fix my own sink. You know what I mean? Like, would you kind of be like?
I mean, if she insisted, I'd be like, okay, babe, but I got it. You know what I'm saying? You know, because I'm kind of easygoing though. This is who I am.
Because I think I have some friends like that. They're kind of like, I don't say tomboys, but they're like very alpha, and they won't let men do anything for them, and they're always single. Because it's like, men, you know, you want, and she says that in Why Men Love Bitches. She's like, even if like you can kill a bug, ask him to kill it.
Right.
You know, like she does say that. Like
the chairs last night, I got new chairs.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, from the Amazon reviews, I'm like, oh, I could easily put those together. But I knew if I started to do it, he would just take over.
Yeah.
And then it would be this awkward thing. So I was like, I'll just let him do it.
Yeah.
And he jumped in.
And men like to feel useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? I mean, and you know what? And if I can piggyback on that, I'm really the type of guy who would like come and pick your car from you at work and go wash it for you and bring it back. And I like doing stuff like that. So when you get off work, it's done.
So you'll like a lady whose love language is acts of service.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, and we like talked about that.
Yeah,
because I enjoy doing that type of thing for a lady and making sure she's taken care of, just making life a little easier for her.
Yeah,
you know.
And like so what I wanted to kind of backpedal a little bit and talk about is just like the dating world today. Because Kelsey said this to me yesterday, where she said, and especially in LA, she thinks that the roles have kind of reversed, where the women are getting really aggressive now, and the men are like not pursuing women anymore. And I see that a lot in LA. It's like my friends asking these guys out all the time, and they scare them away, and they're always single. And it's like, I don't know. I think you guys can tell me your opinion, but I feel like maybe it's because there's just a lot of options in LA, and there's a lot of
what I was about to say.
So
that's what I was about to say.
They don't want to, like, a lot of them don't want to settle down with just one. But
and
also,
I'm blaming the dating apps. I'm making notes
because it's like a hookup culture now.
Yep.
Right. It's like, why have one girlfriend when you can just hook up with a bunch, go on an app? Because I think the women,
all the dating apps.
I'm blaming the women for this, because it's like, you guys are like hooking up with all these guys on these apps. You're making it easy for them. You're asking them out. Like, I'm like still old school, where I'm like, chivalry is not dead.
Yep.
Like, you're gonna call me every day. You're gonna ask me on a date. I'm not gonna chase you.
Right.
Just one guy in my life, and it's because he was a musician. So
yeah, I mean, if we're talking LA, I would have to agree with you, because in the little town that I live in, this wine country area, it's pretty much still traditional. Like, women expect you to approach them, and you know what I mean? But this is not the vibe of LA though. This is more like suburbs, an hour away from LA, just completely different. But in LA, for sure, I would have to agree with you guys. But I'm blaming the options. I'm blaming the dating apps. I'm blaming all that for that.
Because I think the problem is when you start on that note, like, you're setting that tone for the relationship.
Yep.
You know, like, I don't want to have to call you. I don't want to reach out to you.
Yeah.
Like, I want that. I want to set the tone from day one, where it's like, you call me, you make plans with me.
Right. That's how it should be. And then once a relationship is kind of established, then of course, as the lady, you can go, hey babe, let's do this weekend.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. But in the beginning, for sure, it should be like that. You know, the men the men drive it and the women dictate the rules on the road.
Men are hunters. Like they want to win. Like feel like they want to hunt you. Like they want to win you over, right? Like
absolutely.
Tell me if I'm wrong. Like,
no, you're absolutely right. Absolutely.
So when you meet a girl, like, is that a turnoff for you? If she's like, let's say she's texting you all the time, like, hey, when are we hanging out? When are we hanging out? Like, if she was like overly pursuing you, would that turn you off?
Probably so.
Okay.
You know, not, and it really depends on the vibe and the energy too of the person and how we actually connected and the circumstances around it. But generally speaking, yes, it probably would turn me off. To be like, hey, what's up with this chick? Let me, if it's too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Anything you chase in life runs away.
Right, exactly. The law of least attract, right?
Yeah.
And it also depends on how much you like the girl too. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Depends on how much you like her and yeah. I'm thinking that you have me thinking. You know what I mean? It's like going around in my head because I'm thinking about the situation I'm in now. And
if she had played it differently,
I'm thinking that the way it is now, it's perfect. So, but if she acted the way I act, I wouldn't like it. The way it's going now is the way it's supposed to be. I'm the one who says she is a Leo in August.
Good.
Yeah. Me and Leos hang out too.
My dad's an Aquarius, and like he's on his second Leo wife. He loves Leos.
Yeah. Me and Leo get along too, and so I'm the one who's like, let's do this and let's do that. And I'm the one who actually said, let's see each other once a week and at least one day during the weekend. Yeah. I'm the one that's driving it, even though she's dictating the rules.
Yeah, Leo's a strong woman. They want to be pursued.
They're good.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's but it's funny you ask, because if she did what I'm doing, I wouldn't like it.
Okay, so can you articulate why you wouldn't like it? Just to share with the viewers.
Oh,
give people
man.
That insight
why wouldn't I like that? Because I would feel as if, I don't know, maybe, let me think about that for a second. I'm the man. I should be the one doing it. I don't know if it's a gender thing or is it that I just feel more comfortable chasing her. And if she was chasing me to set plans up and set, because I always say, right, if you don't create it, it'll cease to exist, right? So you have to create the relationship. It's not going to create itself. You know what I'm trying to say? So to me, the man should be the one creating it. And again, the woman is always going to dictate the rules on the road, even though we're driving. Always. You know what I'm
secretly have the control, but we'll make you think you have the control.
Exactly.
It's a fine art.
Always. So if she was in the driver's seat and I'm creating the rules, it would just be weird. You know what I mean? And with that said, I'm not saying that she can't make a suggestion or a plan or this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Like this coming weekend, she was like, since you came to LA, why don't you let me come there? And since you have the dog, let's do this, that, and the other. But it was basically what I was thinking anyway. You know what I mean? So I switched it. She said one thing and I switched it to something else, which was close to what she said, but not purposely, just because it was just better. And she was like, yeah, that's an even better idea. Let's do that. You know what I mean? But if she was the one always creating it like I'm creating it and driving it would just feel weird.
Well, and I think because scientifically men are hunters. And because Aaron said that to me when he had got a relationship and he said that's why men will rebound hard. And then all of a sudden it will hit them later that a breakup is over right when the woman's getting over it. Because what a woman will do is she'll grieve right away. You know, there's like a 2-month period where a woman will grieve hard. And then energetically, you know, she starts to get over it. Where men, because my guy friend said this, he goes, men are hunters. So instead of us grieving it right away, we're like, I'm fine. And we'll hunt for the next woman, the next woman, the next woman.
Right.
And he said, all of a sudden, it will get to a point like 2 months later where we'll go, oh my God, my relationship's over. Right. And it will hit them. And then they'll try to reach out to that girl. And then there's that energetic shift where she's already over it. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. That's usually how it happens. Yeah. That's usually how it happens. You know what I mean? Now again, Liz, I think later it's different. Like this is early. Like me and this girl I'm talking about, it's only been a month and a week basically. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah,
Going on a month and a half. So it's early. So I like the way I think in another month and a half, it may be different where, you know what I mean? She's like, hey, what's up this week? And she may say something.
Right.
But I think by then the dust is kind of settled and it's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then it's more comfortable and a man is more accepting and open to it.
I would wait like 6 months before I threw out ideas or
Okay.
before
Yeah.
I offered to pay or split the bill. Like, yeah, I'd wait a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I always like them to pay too. What was I gonna say?
It's funny you guys brought that up because she already does that. And she asked me just this past weekend if I was uncomfortable with her doing that.
Oh.
You know, because
Good communication.
she's a Leo. She's a Leo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're bosses.
Boss, straight up boss. You know what I mean?
She's a woman. Like
She's
J-Lo's a Leo.
woman.
Yeah.
Yep.
Madonna,
She
like
is a woman.
And my moon sign's Leo, so I'm not
Yep.
some of that into.
Yep. She's a woman. And I was like, you know what? If I wasn't a confident man, it probably would bother me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bother me because I'm a confident dude and I know it doesn't mean anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like another man would feel inferior or why does she always want to pay or why does she pay sometimes? And it doesn't bother me though. I'm confident. I know when to say, nah, babe, I got it. Oh, I'll let you get this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know when to do that and like say that. You know what I mean?
What would you guys' advice to be to like, you know, because I have friends in LA who are, you know, they're trying to settle down. They want relationships. They want children. And they're having this tough time with the dating market out there.
LA sucks.
I mean,
yep.
I know, but it's like, it's got to exist. I mean, there
Move
can't.
out of LA. No.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, one of my friends works for one of the studios. Like, she's not going to leave LA.
Mm-hmm.
And I, you know, because what I've told her is like, maybe try like Match.com or something where there's more serious guys who, you know, if they're paying money, they want something serious. But she's like tried it before and it was like bottom of the barrel talent on there. Like
some people don't like the dating apps or the dating websites.
I know, but it's like, what's your advice to people like that where you're in this society where men are so used to women chasing them? It's like, how do you get around that and actually find a quality guy that wants a family when the values are so skewed?
Yeah.
I think in terms of LA, that's a hard one to answer.
Yeah.
But I've had, you know, friends ask me or family members who are single ask me this. And honestly, I feel like going out and meeting new people, like even making new friends, because that friend can have a cousin, that friend could have, you know, anyone down the line.
Yeah.
But if you're also pursuing what you're interested in, I think that opens up things. Like if you're interested in taking a few sailing classes or if you're interested in acting
we talked
classes,
about.
I think that's a more organic, authentic connection.
Yeah.
But from my experience,
I've said this to a friend of mine, but she doesn't like have hobbies. That's the problem. It's like she literally just like works and she just likes to like go to the beach and drink on the weekends. I know. It's like
she's got to find somebody who wants to drink at the beach. She's got to find whatever. Yeah.
I know, but those are like bros. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah,
it's
hard. And I know from listening to you, I hear that LA is hard. I always just like move out of LA.
But then it's like you hear that, but then I also hear people in New York like, no, it's hard here too. It's hard everywhere. So I don't know if it's just LA or if it really is because I haven't lived in another city.
Yeah, and then it depends on the age too, because it could be, you know, if you're in your late 30s, a lot of people have already settled down or they're already doing the family thing.
Yeah.
So then you're like, it's like the
waiting
divorce, waiting for the divorce.
Honest to God, Imani, my friend, I always talk about, right? We were in Palm Springs this weekend and she had met a guy who was married 6 months ago. And they like hit it off. She had no idea he was married, didn't wear a wedding ring, didn't mention it. At the end of the party, his wife showed up and their mutual friend was like, dude, it's not going to last. Like he's going to leave her. Like it's not.
Okay.
She just saw him on Hinge over the weekend. And she's like, oh my God, that guy must not be married anymore. And so she texted her friend and her friend goes, yeah, actually he was asking about you if you were still available. And I was like, dude, quarantine. What did I say? Like after this, the divorces are rolling in.
Right. Yeah.
I know. It's like snatch him up.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I mean, to answer your question, I'm with Liz. LA is tough.
I know.
Yeah.
LA is tough. I mean,
I
would say not for men. Well, it is for a guy looking for something quality though.
No, you know what? I've heard it's hard for men too. My
it's
guy
hard
actually
for
said
men
that.
Too.
my guy said that his friend like made him a Tinder profile. And he said the same thing happened to him where he goes, I got all these matches. No one would meet up with me in person. And I was like, it happens to guys too. I thought it was just.
Nah, it's guys too. And women are looking, you know, and you always ask yourself, like, if you go on the dating apps in LA, you go, okay, all these beautiful women are on Hinge and Bumble. And you're like, what are they looking for? You know, I remember when I was like, I'm available, I'm single, I'm not bad looking. Like, what are you looking for? Like,
well, it says on there, it can say relationship, it can say something casual.
Yeah, I'm talking about all the ones looking for relationships.
So this is what I said to my friend. I said, if you're going to do the apps, you need the guys that are like clear as day on their profile. I want a relationship. I want a family. Because actually she was talking to a guy from Arizona, but he was willing to move there. But then they had a phone date and he was like drunk and he was a weirdo.
Okay.
But I was like, he's the template though, because his profile was like, I'm looking for a serious relationship. If you don't want something serious, swipe left. Like he was hardcore about it. And I was like, girl, that's what you need. Like you need to be. Because she went on 8 dates with this guy before asking him if he wanted children and like something serious. And I was like, 8 dates?
Yeah.
You need to establish that before you even go out with them.
That's important. Wouldn't she put that on her dating profile?
Yeah, but like you gotta ask them that, because so Nikki, my sister, her husband was the second Match.com guy that she ever went on a date with, and she said they established a foundation before they even met. Where they emailed, they talked on the phone. She was divorced, he was divorced. They both had kids. They wanted more kids. So she said, by the time we met, I already felt like I knew him and we had the same values and the same goals. So I feel like that's something too. That's really important.
Yeah, they did it the right way. I mean, you know, I honestly think people just got to demand respect in LA and start valuing relationships like we did before.
But I think it's
all
hard.
The dating apps, because I remember. Because I moved to LA in 96, right? And I remember before all the dating apps started and all that, it wasn't that bad. People would, even my boy Zach, who, you know, we did a show, we talked about being a narcissist and stuff. Yeah. Even before the dating apps came on, Zach had steady girlfriends for years at a time before those apps. For years at a time.
I think
like
the
apps
girlfriends. It.
Now he's on app. He's like, man,
off the apps.
Yeah.
She can't, because she's just on this goal, and it's like she can't get off the apps. And
the apps made those options in LA that were already available too accessible.
Oh yeah.
At a push of a button.
Yep. I think
and that's what ruined it. You know,
I met good people through Meetup. Like back
that's what Imani said too. He does
meetups. I met friends. I met acquaintances, like people I still chat with here and there, like female.
Yeah, I'm still friends with the friends I met on Meetup. Yeah.
Anybody I've met, any of my relationships have been through work or friends.
Right.
Or a guy that showed up at my house. So.
Yeah, you have to make sure your friends know how to wing woman for you or wing man for you. Because that's how I found my husband.
Yep.
One of my friends, he was trying to hit on her. He's from Massachusetts as well, and we both moved to Arizona like a month apart. And she happened to be at the bar during his going away party, and she's like, oh, this guy is kind of weird and fun, and then he tried hitting on her, and she's like, where are you going? Like, she started asking him questions, and then she sent me a text message and said, I met this dude that I really think you need to meet. I'm gonna give him your number. And she gave him my number. He found me back in the day on MySpace. So we started chatting on MySpace.
Yeah.
I was actually dating somebody else. So I was kind of just like in this space of like, I just wanted people, like new friends in this new city.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. But it's like your friends, if they know like someone you would connect with, or if they're looking out, I mean, that helps too.
Yeah. I think it's hard in our culture with the apps and everything too, because these men now are so used to the women pursuing them. So it's like, even when I did them, I would hold my ground. I wouldn't message them first. And I wouldn't waste too much time in it, because, you know, I didn't know if they, you know, like what they're looking for. So I'd just be like, here's my number. You know, if you want to ask me out, there it is.
Yeah, and then Rachel and Liz, if you look at the way Bumble is set up so that the woman pursue the guy.
That's interesting.
I only like that first because if you match with them, I can Google stalk them before I message them and make sure they're not a murderer. Because I don't want to have to Google stalk everybody if we don't even match, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that's the only thing I like about that feature. I don't mind that because then if I find something weird, I can just delete them and then they don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that is also a huge challenge too nowadays. Women trying to find, like, I wrote myself a note, how to rectify initiating the first move with the desire to be pursued. Like that's like very hard because if you meet someone that you're interested in, and like you said, your friend didn't know, like she connected with that guy, but she didn't know he was married, and like you know, trying to like, oh, I'm into this guy, but how do I get him to pursue me? Like that's hard too.
Yeah.
Do you guys think? Go ahead, Rach.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I'm okay. Like if I'm drunk at a bar, I have no problem like starting a conversation with somebody. If I think they're cute, you know, I will walk up to anybody. I don't care. Start a conversation with them. And I don't even mind being like at the end of the night, like, you know, hey, if you want to hang out sometime, here's my number. Like if we exchange numbers, but I will never text them first. That's my rule. So it's like, you know, because some guys, I don't know, they don't really have that confidence to go up to you at a bar. They're not sure if you're single or what.
Which isn't cool. You know, you need to just do it.
Yeah, I just don't care. You know, like that piece of it, I don't care making an intro and seeing how the conversation goes. And then, but yeah, I will never reach out to somebody first. I will never ask them to hang out first. And that's like the mistake a lot of my friends make. Is they'll get a number and it's like they'll be texting the guy like, hey, so, you know, great meeting you. When do you want to meet up? And it's like, no, let them do it. Let them make that move. Let them chase you.
And I also think you need to be really open-minded when you're, you know, if you're at a party or you're at a bar and somebody starts talking to you and they may be like the drunk guy at the party and you're like, oh, whatever about this guy. But he, you know, sober, he might actually be a great guy. So I had a friend that happened to. Like, she met this guy when he was super drunk. It was like an all-day festival type concert, and she kind of dismissed him, but she gave him her real phone number, and then he pursued her, and now they've been married like 15 years.
Oh wow,
2 kids.
That happened.
Very successful.
My friend Kristen too. Her
power couple. You know?
She was blackout drunk, didn't even remember meeting this guy. And he waited 2 weeks to ask her out. And by the time he did, she was like, I don't even know who this guy is.
Yeah.
And now they're married now with a kid. So she went out with him. But it's so funny.
I always say good people like to go out and have fun and dance and get drunk too.
Yeah.
Because I remember back in the day in LA, it was this big thing. You know, no, bar, club is not a good place to meet anybody. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I think that's a lie.
Good people like to have fun.
Like people who like to drink, like other people who like to drink.
Why is that like the litmus test?
My sister met her husband at a bar. My sister like
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think I met a boyfriend at a bar too.
I also just had an idea. Most men are these days, you guys can correct me if you disagree, they're gaming. So if you jump on and start gaming and you have like side conversations, I know a lot of
gamers,
single like gamer guys. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The gaming.
I think you'd have to be a gamer too, or like
you know.
Not
my cup of tea, but
But one of the things,
guys gaming.
One of the things I was gonna say, do you guys think we need to kind of change the narrative and the rules as it pertains to who approaches first? You know what I mean? Especially in this day and time, because I know for me, say I'm at the winery and a woman just all of a sudden starts talking to me and approaches me first. Even though I'm okay with it, it still feels a little weird. And I think that's because of how we've been taught in society.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. Do you guys think we need to switch?
I do it in a very casual way. So I'm not like, hi, I'm Rachel. You're cute. Like I'm not aggressive.
Really, Ray?
I'm not aggressive about it.
Right.
I'll ask. I do it in a very casual way where, so like, for example, and actually I was like, I wing woman Kim at a concert once because she kept seeing this guy she thought was cute. And I didn't know what time the opener went on. The lineup wasn't anywhere. So I was like, well, maybe he'll know. So I just walked up to the guy she was interested in. I was like, hey, do you guys know what time Janelle Monáe goes on? And he said, yeah, she goes on at 9. And they were like, what's your name? And then they started talking to us. I just asked literally a stupid question.
That's all you need for us, though.
That's a perfect question.
Right.
One
but
question,
I do it in an authentic way where I'm not like a creeper.
That's smart. I like that.
Yeah. Or even if it's just like, hey, do you mind if I cut in after you get a drink? Because I've been waiting here for a while. Something very innocent where I'm going to like give you an in.
Right. And exactly.
Yeah.
And then it still allows him to take the lead.
Yes.
That's
yes.
great.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. But I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I'm right here.
But to answer the today's topics, I don't think it's a problem if a woman makes the first move. I don't think it's a problem.
I thought he was gonna say that.
Especially how she does it.
I think if she's too persistent, you're gonna not be okay with that.
It has to be a certain way and a certain vibe and energy and circumstance and stuff like that. Especially if guys, going back to what you said 5 minutes ago, guys are so afraid to actually approach these days. Women are shocked when you approach them these days.
Yeah.
So with that said, if
also too, don't go out with like 6 hot women. That's so intimidating
right.
for guys. I always tell
that's a good tip too.
I always tell there's a comedian actually, her name's Eliza, that did a whole skit about this. Like, oh, you go out with 5 girls that all look like you. Good luck. But I tell my friend this, the one that's like husband hunting. I'm like, if we go out hunting, it's gonna be me and you. You're allowed to invite one more person. That's it. Because she's the queen of like, she's just super social. So she was like, I invited this person, this person, this person. And I'm like, you're never going to meet a guy if you bring 6 girls to the bar with you. That's way too, guy except maybe you.
Yeah, I have. I'm about to say I've done that.
I know he would, but like most guys are going to walk up to a table of 6 women and be like, hey, ladies.
In a second. Yeah. I'll do it in a second. And all like the friends are watching and
Yeah. One on one.
Yep. That's actually what I did to our friend in town that likes you. Yeah, why am I? Heather. That's how I met her.
I love Heather, yeah.
She was at a table with like 6 girls. I went right up to the table. And all her friends were like, then I ended up hanging out with them for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
They're like, he was brave. Oh my God. Like,
because I won't do that. If I see a table of hot guys, I'm like, guys, how do we get in there? But like, no, you can't.
Yeah, it would be funny if you're with a group of people and you like leave the group, and that's when somebody would like come and talk to you once you like.
Yeah, and it's funny, when I first moved to wine country, I was at Miramonte. I didn't know anyone in town yet. And I went by myself on a Saturday night, and I saw these group of hot girls, and I went right up to them and started to introduce myself. And they were like, oh, who is this hot guy? And I ended up hanging out with them for the rest of the night, ended up hooking up with one of them the next night. You know what I mean? Me and her still friends to this day. I mean, it was so cool. I just went, same thing. I went up right to the group. I was like, who cares? Like, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
If they all go, shoot, she's taken.
Well, and that is that. It's like, what's the worst that can happen? They shoot you down. Who cares? There's plenty of them out there.
And if I'm shot down.
Yeah. I do this. So I think dating apps need to have a refer a friend. Because I always see guys and I'm like, I don't like that, but my friend would. Like that needs to be a function. And I've said this to guys. Like if I match with them and I wasn't that into them, I know, but they don't go for it. Because I was like, you know what? Because like if I see a guy, but then he tells me he has kids, and I'm like, you know what? And I'll be honest, I'm like, got a relationship with somebody who had kids. It's not what I'm looking for. I said, but I do have a friend you might like. If you're ever open to like coming out, bringing your friends out, I'll bring my friends. And he's like, I'm not interested in meeting your friends, Rachel. But it's like, how do you know she's not hot?
I know she's not hot. Yeah,
you might like her. So
never
it's like
know.
You're not being
because usually hot girls know hot girls.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So but what I wanted to say to our audience, like to the guys who are afraid to approach, whether it's 1 or 2 or a group, have an exit. Like I always have an exit. So if I approach a group of women and I get shot down, I have a comfortable exit to actually verbalize before I walk away.
Okay.
It's already in my mind.
I'm gonna go get some chips.
It's already in my mind.
There's
you know what I mean?
There's like a
and I say it and I walk away.
There's like a Dave Chappelle comedy thing my brother always references. He's like, when you're trying to get out of something at a party, you just announce the next thing you're going to go do. So it's like, I'm going to go get some chips. Right. Like you're trying to like leave the conversation.
I wouldn't do that. That would be kind of uncomfortable, but I would just, what was one of my exits? I would just be like, well, hey, you guys have a great night. I just said, I might as well come by and say hello. I may have gotten lucky or I wouldn't. I would just say something. I would have an exit though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I would walk away.
I'll give him my like Instagram handle. Like if I'm not that into him or I don't know, like what's, I'll just be like, just look me up on Instagram.
Yeah. Because the one thing you don't want to do is when you do approach and you get shot down, just be standing there stuck. Like, oh, that didn't go well.
Yeah.
You just kind of walk away with your tail in between your legs. Have a strong exit. Like, ladies, that's fine. Have a good day. You know what I mean? Nice to say hello real quick and walk away. Have a strong, confident exit. So that even if it's just you two, when I walk away, you would say, yeah, we're both taken, but I like the way he did that.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Well, I was telling her too, like, I have like a roster, I feel like, and like men have like a roster of even like, cause I've done a couple commercials with guys where we had a flirty thing and we exchanged info, but then I look on Instagram and they have a girlfriend. But they watch all my Instagram stuff and they're always like, we got to get together. And I'm like, I feel like I'm the backup girl for when like, if they break up with that girl. Yeah. But even like guys I've been on Bumble dates with that, I don't know, maybe they weren't ready. Maybe they live too far away, but they all still follow me. And I'm like, I feel like you guys have like this roster of women that it's like, maybe
comes down to timing.
Yeah. Maybe they weren't, maybe they're going to come back around. Yeah. That's what I think. Yeah. But like when we went so when I wing woman for my friend at that concert, and then she actually started dating that guy. But he said to us, and this is the thing too, it's like people tell you who they are, you have to listen. Because she's very aggressive with men. And I've coached her on this for years and she doesn't listen to me and she's still single. And I said to her, because he was like, God, he had just moved to LA. And he was like, women in the city are so aggressive. He said, when I meet women on a Monday, they'll be texting me like, hey, so what's your schedule this week? I'm free Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Wow.
Like chasing him.
Wow, I can't imagine ever doing that.
No, me neither. But that's my friend. And so I said to her, I go, are you listening to him right now? Because that's you. That's you that he's describing. Do not do that with him. Yeah. And what did she do? She did it with him and she scared him away and they stopped dating. But I was like, he told you from day one who he was and that he didn't want that. Right. So you have to, like, as a woman, just like you let them pursue, because it's like dating with your ego or your like OCD, because she's like super organized and just wants to know what days she's doing everything, but you have to be a little flexible and just like let them, you can't be like, okay, so these are the days I'm free, I want to plug you into a calendar. You have to leave it alone. You know, if they ask you on a day that you're not free, you say no. They'll respect you more. You have your own life, but you can't like keep chasing them, because that's for your own, you know, your own thing, your own ego. You want to know when he's hanging out with you, or your own impatience. Because I do that sometimes if I get anxious because I haven't heard from a guy. But I'm like, if I reach out to him right now, that's for me. That's just for me to ease my own anxiety. Right. Yeah. It's like, it'd be better if I just left it alone, gave him, obviously maybe he needs his space. He's busy. Right. But it's hard to do.
Right. Liz, do you think the woman should make the first move?
No.
You don't at all. You think the guy should always do it no matter what? Let me ask you a question though. What if you're in a situation where it's the guy of your dreams and vice versa, and he just didn't notice you or didn't see you, or just, you know, was just afraid to approach because this happened, and you just both walked away, and deep down you know you could approach and you didn't?
I don't think I would be the best version of myself. I would be insecure, needy, so it wouldn't be ideal.
He wouldn't be the man of her dreams.
Yeah, I wouldn't be confident or strong and secure, and you know, there's so much going on in life. I don't want to be in a relationship worrying, you know, if he's the one or if he's really interested in me. Like, I never doubt my husband's love for me ever. Like, he can sit there and tell me how hot a chick is, and I don't even care.
Yeah. So the initial approach is one way that actually equals he wanted me for you, and you know what I mean. That's like your way of saying that. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
because I have a couple of friends in wine country that are together, and he didn't notice her when they were at the bar, and they're together because he was just in his own world, thinking about his daughter, and she saw him and approached him. This was 3 years ago, and they're still dating.
I think it's okay to start a conversation.
Yeah,
if you just say hi,
that's conversation.
Introducing yourself is different.
Yeah.
But don't get their number and start harassing them to go out with you.
Right.
There's a difference between like starting a conversation, introducing yourself, and actually pursuing a man to go out with you.
And in this case, she went up to him and introduced herself and made it obvious that she was into him.
Yeah.
And
I was with you when they told us that story.
Right, and then it switched, and then he started to pursue her, and you know what I'm trying to say?
That's fine.
And then did she let him pursue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you listen to what Liz is saying, though,
first, which
Liz is saying she wouldn't have even gone up to him at the bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I don't know now because I haven't dated for 10 years and I do think I'm much more confident now. So maybe I would.
Yeah, I think you'd be okay like chatting somebody up.
Yeah, like I chat people up all the time.
Liz is the person at like the coffee drive-through. She's like, "Hi, Anita. Having a good day." Like she talks to everybody.
How was it at the bar last night?
Yeah. All right.
Tell me about your dating life.
Yeah, so I think you would chat somebody up.
Yeah, I do chat somebody up. And sometimes people do think I'm interested just because I'm chatting.
Yeah, you're like, "Oh no, I'm married."
Right.
But that doesn't mean I can't. Like I'll still think somebody's like attractive.
Oh no, of course. But if they, you know.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't, and Rachel would approach someone.
I introduce myself. I would never. My rule is I never text or call somebody first, even when I'm in a relationship. A lot of times, I never do. Because
to this day, my husband reaches out to me first. He usually talks to me first. Like, and I realized that this morning. I'm like, oh, I really like. I'm just so used to letting the man do everything first that I don't.
But I'm with you on that. That makes me feel insecure if I have to reach out to a guy first.
Right.
I don't like that because then something's wrong. I feel like, and then it makes me feel insecure, and then I'm staring at my phone all day. Yeah, right. Instead of just like giving them space, and it's like they'll reach out when they want to. If I text you first, I get a stomach ache, and I'm literally like watching my phone all day. Like he hasn't texted me back yet. He hasn't texted me back yet. It makes me feel horrible.
Yeah.
You know.
So from a male perspective, when you reach out to a woman, or if you're pursuing a woman and you're messaging her, do you get like that? Like, does it bother you? Are you like obsessing over it, or like, hey, she's not reaching out to me?
Of course we think about it, you know. And when we meet people, we try and not try to seem too anxious because we hear all this all the time. So if I meet someone, I usually try to wait a few days, 72 hours at least, 3 days at least.
Oh, so you do
3-day roll?
Yeah.
3-day thing. Yeah.
Like I do like a 3-day thing. Then I'll say hello. And if she messages me first, then that's different. Like I've been out and met someone and she messaged me the same night, but I could tell it wasn't anxious though. It was just cool. You could tell by the energy. Yeah. And then it still went well after, and it was just like a normal communication.
Oh, I wouldn't like that if a guy waited 3 days.
You know what I mean? Yeah, me and Rachel have talked about this on the show, but then
maybe not like the same. I don't know actually.
Yeah, but see, and then because we've heard women say, "Oh, he was too anxious. He hit me the next day," and stuff like that.
No, I like that. Like if I'm into you, like I would want you to hit me up the next day.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe not. I mean, I don't want to hang out with you the next day. That's the thing. I don't like when I meet somebody and the next day, like they're like, "What are you doing tonight?" It's like, "Oh no, that's too soon." But I do like if they text me the next day and it's like, "Hey, what's your weekend look like?" or something. It's like, okay, give me a few days to like mentally prepare.
That's why I say we drive, but you guys create the rules. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you were okay with that, we will be okay with it because you're creating the rules.
Yeah.
You know, if you say, "Oh, I'm fine, but I'm free tomorrow night," then it's okay. But if you say it's not, then it's not okay. And we honestly don't care.
I just need like 24 hours notice. If a guy asks me out, I hate the same day. Like, what are you doing tonight? It's like, dude, I haven't shaved my legs in like a week.
Right. You
wash
do
my
all
hair.
That stuff.
No, I can't today.
It reminds me of one of the most significant relationships in my life. I met him. It was like on a Saturday night or something. And in the conversation, I gave him my number. He said, let's go. He asked me on a date. So we agreed to go on a date on Thursday. And then somewhere in the conversation, I mentioned I liked the beach, that I was planning on sleeping till 2. I was going to be hungover the next day. Like I mentioned all this stuff in conversation. He literally called me at 2:00 on the dot. And I was like, whoa, like I actually was like turned on by it. I was like, wow, he really listens and he's like on it.
Paid attention.
Yeah, he called me at 2:00 and then he's like, how you feeling? And I'm like, oh, I'm kind of hungover. And he's like, well, let's go get some food and go to the beach. And I'm like, oh, I can't say no to that. Like that sounds like such a good hangover day.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, he seemed cool enough. Yeah, I'll do it. So we actually went on a date before our real date.
Right.
And I remember being so impressed that like he remembered all that like at the party and conversation.
That means he likes you.
Yeah, and took that initiative. Like I thought it was really sexy.
Yeah,
see, my guy doesn't remember shit, but he does but he will remember like appointments. It's because he was coming over one day, and I was like, "What time are you coming?" And he's like, "In an hour, but I know you're shooting your podcast at 12:30." And I was like, "You remembered?"
Yeah.
And he's like, I remember appointments. Like, weird selective memory. I was like, "But cool, all right, appreciate it. Appreciate
that's
that.
awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Nice.
So, I mean, so I guess at the end of it, what are we saying?
I know. What's our takeaway?
It's cool.
Today?
What's our takeaway today?
What's our takeaway, Liz? You
My
jump it
vote
out.
is
A lot
you
of great
quality
information.
Man, if you let him pursue, it weeds out the bullshit.
Right.
And fairly quickly too.
Okay. And I would say, what if the quality man just wasn't paying attention and didn't see you? I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Well, no, you can start.
I think it goes back to timing.
But you can start a conversation. This is what I'm saying. Like I think the takeaway here is you can start a conversation. You can introduce yourself. You know, maybe like not in an aggressive way. Maybe ask a dumb question. Do you know where the bathroom is? Like, you know, just something to let them know.
I've seen you do that so many times.
So many times. That's like my MO. Like, excuse me.
But you know, Rachel, that's really smart though. And if a guy's paying attention,
it's not
he'll be like, "No, that hot girl just not come ask me where the bathroom is." Hey, by the way, like if he's not smart enough to like pick up on that, something's wrong.
Yeah, like
you know
I saw a celebrity.
I like that.
I saw a celebrity who was like notorious for hitting on women, and so I said to my friend, I go, "I'm just gonna go walk by him, see if he hits on me." Right. So I walked real close and I see him doing this. And then he like pulls me up to the stage and is like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "That's all I had to do. I didn't even have to say anything."
That's smart.
So you make yourself known. But don't ask them out. You know, I keep it casual. Like if it's going somewhere and cause but I gotta go or something back to my friends. I'll just be like, "Hey, you know, if you want to exchange info, we can do that." But don't message them first.
Right. So I would say, ladies, make yourself available. Like, do what Rachel is saying. I love it. Just like make it easy. Like, make a move.
Give them that opening.
Give him an opening. Thank you, Liz.
Just be friendly.
Give him an opening.
Yeah, just being friendly.
Be friendly. Don't be desperate.
Be friendly, not desperate. That's the takeaway for today.
Because men can sense desperation from a mile away.
Be friendly, not desperate. I love it.
I think we forgot about that point, guys. Like, you really have to have yourself taken care of. Like, you have to mentally be in a good place. Like, you have to like be in control, be confident, do the work that you need to do. If like you have past pain, trauma, all that crap, like you got to get through all that to be able to get, you know,
a quality person. You have to be a quality person to get a quality person.
What I always say, be what you want.
Yeah. And because you can't, because men can sense the desperate woman at the bar that's like,
in an instant.
So what do you do for work? Do you want children?
Right.
How many?
Right.
You know, like that, they're gonna run. Yeah. But if you're just like, "Hey, what's up? I'm trying to get a drink. Can I cut in front of you?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just cool. And then it's like, I actually like recently like wing woman for my friend. Then she was making out with the guy 5 minutes later. I'm a very successful wing woman.
Right.
But I was trying to tell my date, this was a couple months ago, to like get to come there, and I didn't know the name of the bar. So I was like, "Man, you think he's cute, right? Cool." I was like, "Hey, do you guys know the name of this bar?" I'm trying to like send my friend the name of it. He was like, "Oh yeah, it's called Standing Room Only." Right. Perfect. And then I'm like, bring my friend over, and it turned out we had all worked for Beachbody, so it was like the perfect intro. So I was like, "Oh my god, we did too." We're at different offices, but it's like 5 minutes later, I look over, she's making out with the guy, and I was like,
"There you go,
that's it, easy,
perfect, done,
easy. Yep,
easy work." Yeah, you are a good wing woman. That's cool. Can hook all your friends up.
Because I don't care. Because they they can sense I'm not desperate. It's like
yeah,
and I'm the same way.
Comfortable being single before you can really
comfortable with yourself. Yeah,
it's so funny, Rach. You can ask Crispy. I'm the guy version of you in our group. I'm the one that's all. Yeah, seriously, going up to the ladies, getting everybody over, talk. I'm the one. Yeah,
I know. Well, it's funny.
Everybody's just scared.
My guy saw like a clip of you and I talking, and he goes, "I like him. He's got like good body language." Like,
that's funny.
Because you can tell he's got like good expressions, good body language. You can tell he's like confident.
Yeah, that's so funny.
He saw you for like 2 seconds.
Yeah. Tell them it's the same. It's the same, man. Yep. Anyway, this was a fun show. It was a good show. And
I know,
thank you, ladies.
It was an hour long. It was a long one.
Yeah.
That's what happens with 3 people. I feel like we all have something to say. If it's just him and I, it's usually like 45.
Yep. Yeah, thank you guys for logging on,
ladies,
man.
Don't chase.
Yeah. How long are you going to be out in AZ, Rach?
I think I'm gonna come back this weekend.
Okay.
Because I headed out here Wednesday because I was in Palm Springs for a couple of days and then came
that's
here.
right.
So yeah, I'm sort of like, all right. I think by sometime this weekend I'll be ready to head back. But,
all right.
But yeah, he's
very
there
cool.
He's there getting my mail and stuff.
That's cool. You know what I mean?
That's
so
awesome.
so when you get back home, make sure you get a good smash in.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and drive safe. You know what I mean? And definitely
first on the list.
Exactly, first on the list. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for logging on.
Yeah.
Liz, very nice to meet you. Maybe I'll meet
nice
you in
to meet
person.
You too.
Sometime. You were a lot of fun. Yeah, check in anytime with us.
And Imani, she said, thank you for the attachment parenting stuff that you talked about.
Oh.
She's using that now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, well, we should probably have a side conversation on that because I was
let's do
that particular episode I was listening to and I was so tired. I was at work and I'm like, is this even worth it? Like that was my whole thought on the way to work that day.
Is what worth it? Like
the whole attachment thing. Like it's very like you make a conscious decision to do certain things and the co-sleeping and I'm like, are we doing the right thing? You know?
Yeah.
And then that episode came on and I was like, oh, okay. Like, all right.
We're doing the right thing.
But you mentioned your daughter left the co-sleeping arrangement when she was 6.
Something like that, yeah.
I was like, I can't wait for that day. But
she's also Capricorn, so she's an independent woman.
It's worth it. It's worth it, yeah. Yeah, she happens to be a cat, but yeah. It's worth it. She's the most.
So my mom said when I was little, she would put me in my bed, and every night around 3 a.m., I'd come in with my little blanket and sleep with her. So,
yeah.
That's funny.
Hard. It's hard because I feel sometimes we put the kids first versus our marriage, and then we're like, oh, we can't do that.
Yeah,
we gotta go back. Like,
yeah, you do.
So it's hard to do this whole I didn't realize I was doing attachment parenting actually until you were talking about attachment parenting, and I was like, oh, that's like what
we're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't. So then I did a little bit more research that night, and I didn't realize that's what we were doing. But sometimes it's just exhausting, and then I'd be like, why are we more tired than other parents? And I realized it's this whole attachment.
Yeah, it'll pay off later though.
Yeah,
it'll pay off later. Yeah.
Like
the information is out there.
See you in 10 years.
It works. It works big time. That's the way it's supposed to be. You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, ladies, thanks for checking in.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it was nice chatting with you.
Absolutely. And let's talk outside of this, just like you said. You know, I'd love to. It's all good.
Yeah, we'll do another episode another time because she was the one that had a lot of info about like the porn addiction and stuff. And I was like, man, I should have had her on that
let's
I think you should do part 2. With me and a segment with Neil too.
Okay.
Let's do part 2. Yeah.
Neil has
or we can think of like a similar title maybe because I was like, usually we'll tweak the title if it's a similar subject, but we can think about that.
We could do part 2. I'd love to.
We could think about the title.
Cool. And then we can probably call this one like Should Women Make the First Move or something like that.
Okay, that's what I'll do. You know, I always text you after. I'll text you.
Okay.
Should Women Make the First Move. All right, ladies, it's Relationships, Romance, and Propaganda podcast. Signing off, and we'll see you next week. Stay 6 feet. Keep your mask on.
I'll see you on YouTube.
No mask here. Wild West.
Rachel is crazy, guys. Okay. All right, Liz. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.